My whole life, I was given the message that my birth story and family history didn't matter. As I was growing up, I was told my adoption story, not my birth story. Why, you ask? Because my birth story was held under lock and key at the Cradle Adoption Agency in the Cook County Court of Illinois. Even my parents had no access to it. I was a secret. I was a mystery to even myself. As I grew up, I would always be wondering about where my birth mother went and why nobody seemed to know who she was. I wondered where I came from, but nobody had any answers for me. As I became a young adult, the questions of who I was and where I came from became more pronounced. Every time somebody asked me if I was Italian, Greek, or Spanish, I would feel this sick reminder that I didn't really know who I was. I usually would not lie. I would tell the truth, and I could see that the truth made people uncomfortable. Or they would think my life was a novelty and ask lots of questions I simply had no answers to. Most people just couldn't identify with someone who didn't know where they came from. I can't blame them. I couldn't even understand it myself. I can't put my finger on what specifically prompted me to begin actively searching, but I think I just finally had to answer the call in my heart after pushing it aside for so long. I was finally at my wit's end with filling out just one more medical history form with adopted and telling one more person I may be Italian. Enough was enough. I have been searching for several decades now, and I'm always surprised at what new information I am able to find about my family. I can think of far better ways to spend my money and energy, and the novelty of my life never seems to wear off for friends and acquaintances. But this is my life, and I have embraced it with all its craziness. Seeing the faces of my mother, sister, brother, cousin, and many other distant relatives has finally brought me the peace in my life that was missing for so long. Seeing documented proof that there were musicians, artists, and writers in the family line helped me to accept and embrace my own talents and feel part of a family larger than the one I could have ever imagined before I embarked on my search. My entire search and adoption reunion story is free to anyone who wants to listen. It's at the podcast called The Adoption Experience, and my book is called Hidden Identity, and it's only available via podcast on Spotify and several others. You can check it out, and I'd love to hear from you after you listen.